I and many others enjoyed using the Redmi Note 9S from last year because it was a decent mid-ranger that performed well across all areas, and it was just priced at 799 ringgit. And in my hands today is the follow-up to that phone, the Redmi Note 10S. I've been using it for 2 weeks now. It's priced exactly the same, so how does it stack up to its very impressive predecessor? Let's find out. Before we get started, here's a quick word about Good Deals by KLGG, our official e-store where you can get all sorts of awesome gadgets quick and easy. The best part is, you can get 10 ringgit off your first purchase plus free shipping every time. Click the link in the description box below to start shopping. Starting with the design, Xiaomi has done away with the hefty exterior. In its place is a fairly thin and light chassis. It weighs just 178 grams and has a thickness of about 8.3 millimeters. After using this for 2 weeks, it never feels like a hassle to carry around, especially since my daily driver has been a Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro, which is one of the heaviest and thickest phones around. Aesthetics wise, there's nothing to scream about. You get a plastic back cover that's glossy. My version comes in the onyx grey color and it looks fine. The thing that stands out in terms of design, however, is the camera module that has the same language as its cousins in the Xiaomi Mi 11 lineup. Moving on to the display, I'm so glad we get more affordable phones that are now coming with AMOLED panels. It's about time. The phone has a 6.43-inch Full HD Plus display that looks very impressive. It's got a whopping 1100 nits of peak brightness, so outdoor viewing is a treat. Also a treat are the colors produced on this display. Being an AMOLED panel, watching videos and movies is pretty enjoyable. What didn't feel so great was the lack of higher refresh rates. I'm personally accustomed to 90Hz and 120Hz displays, so the Redmi Note 10S feels a little sluggish when swiping across pages and tabs. When it comes to audio, it's one of the phone's biggest letdowns. It has a dual stereo speaker system that, although it's loud, doesn't sound great. There's a lack of depth and balance, the mids are muffled and bass is subpar. Good news, however, is that it comes with a 3.5mm headphone jack, so you can still plug in whatever earphones you have if wireless earbuds aren't your thing. Under the hood is a MediaTek Helio G95 chipset that's capable of running well-optimized games like Call of Duty, Mobile Legends, and to a certain extent Asphalt 9. But when it comes to Genshin Impact, it obviously struggles like a lot of other phones, to be fair. When it comes to daily usage, the 8GB of RAM lets you open up apps quickly and have plenty going on without the phone really slowing down. Moving on to the camera, the phone comes with a 64MP main lens, an 8MP ultra-wide shooter, a 2MP macro lens, and a 2MP depth sensor. Regular daytime shots look fine, but as usual of Xiaomi phones, colors are a bit oversaturated even with AI recognition turned off. But at least the photos are sharp and dynamic range is decent. But when it comes to high-res photography, the 64MP lens doesn't quite get me the detailed shots I expect. I tried many times to make sure my hands were steady as possible, but images still came out a little blurry. When it comes to selfies, you get pretty nice shots with a good amount of detail on the subject, while portrait mode actually offers a pretty nice bokeh effect without eating too much of the subject matter as well. When it comes to night mode, the phone doesn't perform very well with little light. It gets very grainy, but with a little bit more light it improves, but the graininess is still very visible. For selfies, the image is not usable and there's no night mode for selfies to speak of. On a more positive note, battery life on the Note 10S is quite impressive, and rightly so considering it has a 5000 mAh pack. It can easily last me a full day with regular browsing, content consumption, and around 2 hours of gaming per day. There's also 33 watts of fast charging support, which can power up your phone in about an hour if you have about 10% battery left. So as a conclusion, the camera and audio system are weak points for this phone, and the 60Hz panel is a bit odd for me, especially if you're used to using a high refresh rate display. For extra 200 ringgit, you can actually get the Redmi Note 10 Pro, which actually comes with a 120Hz AMOLED panel, which fixes the latter problem that I mentioned. And on top of that, it also has a 108MP camera system as well. So for extra 200 ringgit, you may be getting your money's worth there. But with that said, the Redmi Note 10S actually offers you pretty impressive performance and battery life, all while keeping the form quite lean and lightweight, which makes it a pretty decent daily driver as well. So let us know what you think about the Redmi Note 10s down in the comment section below. Would you get it or any of its Redmi Note 10 siblings? This is Victor signing off. Until next time, bye-bye.